The river that refused greed. Long before roads carved through forests and engines disturbed the silence of the land, there was a fishing village called Otuama, resting gently along the mighty Niger River. The river was their life. At dawn, its surface shimmered like liquid gold. By dusk, it whispered lullabies that carried through the palm trees. The people believed the river was alive, watched over by an ancient spirit known only as Ne Miri, Mother of Waters. And for generations, the river provided. Fish were always plenty. Nets came back heavy. No one went to bed hungry. But there was a rule older than the oldest elder. Take only what you need. Respect the river, and it will respect you. For many years, the people obeyed, until greed found its way into Otuama. It started slowly. A fisherman named Ebi began catching more than he needed. At first, it seemed harmless. "Why leave fish behind when I can sell more in the next village?" he would say, tying overflowing baskets. Others watched. Soon they followed. More nets were cast, smaller fish were taken. Even the sacred breeding waters, once forbidden, were invaded. The elders warned them. "The river sees," said old Mama Coco, her voice trembling like dry leaves. "It remembers." But the younger men laughed. "Stories to scare children," they replied. Then something changed. One morning, Ebi went out before sunrise. He cast his net into the calm water. He waited and waited. When he pulled it back, the net was empty. Not a single fish. He frowned. "Strange," he muttered. The next day, the same thing happened. Then the next. Soon the entire village began to notice. Nets returned empty. Traps were untouched. Even the river itself seemed quiet. Too quiet. No ripples, no movement, as if something beneath the surface was watching. Days turned into weeks. Hunger crept into homes. Children cried at night. The once lively riverbank became a place of whispers and fear. At night, some claimed they heard strange sounds from the water, soft, mournful, almost like crying. One fisherman swore he saw a shadow rise from the river, a figure made of water, staring at him before sinking back into the depths. No one dared go alone after that. Just when hope seemed lost, a woman returned to the village. Her name was Adaize. She had left many years ago, known for her deep understanding of ancient ways and spiritual matters. When she saw the empty baskets and the fear in people's eyes, she knew something was terribly wrong. "This is not ordinary," she said quietly. "The river is not just water. It is a living force, and something has angered it." The villagers gathered around her. "Can it be fixed?" one asked, desperation thick in his voice. Adaize looked toward the river, her eyes narrowing. "That depends on what you have done." That night, Adaize went to the river alone. The moon hung low, casting silver light across the still water. She stepped in slowly, knee-deep, waist-deep. Then she closed her eyes and called out, "Ne Miri, Mother of Waters, hear me." The river stirred. A cold wind swept across the surface. Then the water began to rise, slowly, unnaturally, forming a shape, a figure. A woman made of flowing water, her eyes glowing like moonlight. When she spoke,
Her voice echoed like waves crashing in a distant storm. "Your people have forgotten." Adaize bowed her head. "They are hungry. They are afraid." "They were greedy," the river turned. "They took more than they needed. They polluted my waters. They broke the sacred law." Adaize swallowed hard. "What must be done?" Silence fell. Then the spirit spoke again. "Balance must be restored." The next morning, Adaize gathered the villagers. Her voice was firm. "The river will not give again until we make things right." Some resisted. "We are already suffering," Ebi shouted. "What more do you want from us?" Adaize stepped closer, her gaze piercing. "The river is not punishing you," she said. "It is protecting itself." Silence. Then she continued. "You must return what you took without need. You must cleanse the waters you polluted. And you must swear never to take more than you need again." The villagers exchanged uneasy glances. It would not be easy. But hunger had already broken their pride. For days, the village worked. They removed waste from the riverbanks. They repaired damaged areas. They returned small fish they had kept alive. And on the final night, they gathered at the river with offerings, food, prayers, and songs of apology. Ebi stepped forward. Tears filled his eyes. "I was the first to take more," he confessed. "I thought only of myself." He dropped his offering into the water. "I am sorry." One by one, others followed. The air grew heavy, then still, then a ripple. At dawn, a young boy ran screaming from the riverbank. "Fish! Fish!" The villagers rushed out. The water was alive again. Fish jumped. Ripples danced across the surface. The river was breathing again. A cry of joy erupted across Otuama. Mothers wept. Men fell to their knees. The river had forgiven them. The lesson never forgotten. From that day on, the rule was never broken again. Children were taught the story of the silent river, of the hunger, of the spirit that watched. And every time a net was cast, the fishermen would whisper, "Only what we need, nothing more." Because they knew something others did not. The river listens, and if disrespected, it can go silent again.